I sat on this chair. I said, my name is John. I'm your friend. And then I asked you at the count of 3 to give your name. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
And we started off with friendship. Now, I moved the table a little closer because we spent the day together, and I think that we're good friends. But I think we're becoming more than good friends. I think we're starting to become family. I think we're beginning to sense that we have desires that are the same, and we have hopes and dreams that are the very same. So in this last session that I have with you today, I've been asking myself all day, what's the best thing that I can do for you that will serve you well, that will add value to you, that will take you on the path of improvement for your life? Because I think I've been with you long enough, I think I know where you are. But let me make sure, okay? Let me make sure. How many of you came today because you thought, if I come and I hear these speakers, I get kind of immersed in this environment, this would be a day where I could grow and I could learn and I could improve myself. How many of you came today hoping that at the end of the day, you would be a little bit better than what you started today? How many of you came to improve yourself?
Yes.
Huh?
Improve.
Okay, it looks to me like every hand is being raised, okay? And I believe that's happened. So I asked myself the question, what can I say to you? What can I share with you that will, at the end of the day, you'll say, okay, I'm so glad I invested, I'm so glad I gave up some time and some money to be here. And so that's why I moved the table a little closer, because if it's okay with you, I'm going to talk to you not only as a friend, I'm going to talk to you as a father, okay? As a papa. I want to talk to you as someone that if I had one conversation I could have with you, if I had one time where we could just be together, what would I say to you that I could leave and have confidence that I added value to you? So let me begin my talk here with a story. Let's say that I had a tree in my backyard and I wanted to cut it down, okay? So every day I would go and I would pick up an axe and I would walk to that tree. And I'd take the axe and I would swing that axe 5 times against that tree. And I would walk back and put the axe away and I'd go back into my house. But every day I would take the axe and I would go to the same tree, and every day I would just swing the axe 5 times and go back to the house and put the axe away. And the next day I would go out and every day I would go out and I would take the axe, and every day I would swing 5 times at the tree. And I put the axe up, and every day I would just go every day to the same tree and swing the axe 5 times. Let me ask you a question. If I do that every day, what eventually will happen to that tree? It will what? Fall. Now, if it's a small tree, maybe a couple months and it'll fall. If it's a big tree, I'm only swinging 5 times a day, so maybe if it's a big tree, it may take a few years. But here's what I know. If every day I go to that tree and I take that axe and I swing 5 times, I know eventually that tree will fall. Now, in this very simple little story is what I call the power of 5. And I don't want you to miss what I'm about to teach. The power of 5 says, very simply, that if I do the 5 things I talked about in this story, my life will be very successful, and my life will be full of growth and improvement. So what are the 5 things? Number 1, I have to know what I want to accomplish. In the story, what do I want to do? Cut the tree down. Greatness begins with clarity, knowing what you want to accomplish. The second thing is, after I know what I want to accomplish, I have to have the right tools. What am I doing? I'm picking up an axe, and I'm taking the axe to the tree. Why take an axe? Because it cuts wood. It wouldn't do me any good to pick up a club and go to that tree and swing 5 times. There would be no wood cut. I might be working hard, but the tree's not going to come down. You see, when people talk about working hard, that has very little to do with success. It's not how many times you swing at the tree, it's do you have the right tool? You have to have an axe. So every day I know what I want to accomplish. I want to cut the tree down. And I have the right tool, I have an axe. And the third thing I need to do to have great success in my life is to take action. I have to take action. What did I do with the axe? I walked to the tree and I swung 5 times. If I have the right tool, if I know what I want to accomplish, but I don't take action, nothing happens. I was on a podcast recently and I was asked the question, what's the best action to take? And I smiled and I said, any action. Just do something. We're supposed to leave our footprints in the sands of time, not our butt prints, okay? Take action 5 times. Take that as tools and use them. Know what you want to accomplish. Have the right tool. Take action. Number 4, stay focused. Every day I went to the same tree and I swung 5 times. Every day to the same tree. Now, what would happen if the next day, the second day, I went in the backyard and I saw another tree and I thought, oh, I need to do that again. And the next day I got up and I said, oh, there's a tree. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, oh, there's a tree over here. Oh, I forgot about that tree over here. I'm never going to cut the tree down. I'm just going to have a bunch of scarred trees. Because I'm distracted. I'm not making the main thing the main thing. Stay focused. Know what you want to accomplish. Have the right tool. Take action. Stay focused. And number 5, be consistent. Be consistent. Did you notice that in the story I kept saying the word every day? Every day. Every day I pick up the axe. Every day I go to the tree. Every day I swing 5 times. Every day I go to the same tree. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Be consistent. That word every day is magic. It really is. I didn't say I go to the tree and I swung the axe all day. I just said I swung it every day. It's better to swing 5 times every day at the tree than to swing 1 time all day. You see, consistency is underrated. Intensity is overrated. And when I am consistent, I have a huge return. So people ask me, they say, John, how can you write 94 books? And I shared with you, I have 14 more to write, so I've got, I don't know, kind of maybe, hopefully sometime I'll have 108 books, but how do you write 94 books? The power of 5. Don't miss what I'm about to say. There are 5 things I do every day. I call them everyday essentials. Every day means I'm consistent. Essentials mean they're important. When you put consistency with priorities, importance, you get a high return. Consistency with things that are not important won't give you a return at all. Inconsistency with things that are very important will give you no return. You have to put them together. Consistency with the priorities and important things in your life. So I write books. So watch my Power of 5 every day. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Guess what I do every day? Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Somebody says, John, excuse me. What do you mean by every day? Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. Every day I ask questions. Every day I write. Every day I read. Every day I think. Every day I file. And somebody says, now, every day, I mean, every day. What do you do on your birthday? Every birthday, I read. Every birthday, I think. Every file, I ask questions. Oh my gosh, what do you do on Christmas? Every Christmas, I read. I think. I file. I ask. Hey, what do you do on vacation? I read. I think. I file. I ask questions. You say, every day. Every day. I didn't say I do it all day. I just said I do it every day. If you'll remember the tree story, and if you'll begin to realize that success isn't in splashes of brilliance, success comes by understanding what you need to do every day that will allow you to be successful in your life. When I started my coaching company, I asked myself the Power of 5 question. I asked myself, okay, if we're going to have a John Maxwell Coaching Company, what is it that I need to put in your life as coaches? What is it that we need to have you be doing every day that will allow you to prosper and to do well and to succeed? And my greatest joy and pride is to see coaches that have just gone on in their life and they're making an incredible difference in other people's lives and they're making good money and it's just, I mean, when you see Chris Robinson up here, I mean, Chris, he was a founding coach. And within 3 years, he was making $1 million a year. And I look at Chris and I say, this is why we started the coaching company. We started the coaching company to help you succeed. Now, let me just make sure I've got the right crowd here. One more time. If you want to succeed, if you'd like to have a better life, if you'd like to help more people, if you'd like to make more money, raise your hand. Okay, just checking.
Just checking.
That was an IQ test. That wasn't a coaching test, that was just an IQ test. So I sat down and I said, okay, what are the things that I need to provide for you in this coaching company that will allow you to cut the tree down, to be successful in your life? And there are 5. I call them the power of 5 in John Maxwell coaching. So let me give them to you, okay? Because these 5 things are essential. These 5 things matter. They count. They're important. So let me give them to you. Number 1 is growth matters. I said, I've got to provide an organization. I've got to provide an organization. I just got it. I was taking the lid off and I didn't think I was going to get it. I got it. Have I told you how glad I am that I came to Indonesia? Have I told you how glad I am with you today? I mean, if you could stand where I am and look at you, you'd be happy. You'd be very happy. So I said to the coaching company, I have to make sure that I create an environment for you to grow. For you to absolutely become better. Because the only guarantee that tomorrow is better than today is that you're growing today. So when people say, well, I hope tomorrow gets better, I say, hope's not a strategy. You gotta do more than hope. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have something that will allow you to grow in your life. If you sat at this table with me, if you sat right across and it was just the 2 of us talking, you and me, and you'd say, John, talk to me for a moment. What's the key to your success? I would tell you without any question, personal growth. Because when I was in my 20s, I had a mentor named Kurt Kampmeyer. And one day at breakfast, he asked me the question, John, what is your plan for personal growth? And I had no plan at all for personal growth. I didn't know I was supposed to have a plan. I was working hard. I liked what I was doing, but I didn't have a plan for personal growth. And that day changed my life because he said to me, John, getting better is not automatic. You have to be intentional to get better. He said, now, getting older is automatic, but getting better is not. You need to have a plan for personal growth. From that day forward, for over 50 years, I've had a personal growth plan. And I'm very intentional about developing myself, asking questions, learning, growing, improving myself. And I'm still at 78. I'm still curious. I'm still reading. I'm still going to conferences like this. I'm still listening to podcasts. I'm doing everything I can possibly to keep growing. It's the secret of my success. So, when I started a coaching company, I said I have to provide an environment for my coaches to grow. Now, if you ask me, John, of all the ways that you do personal growth, and there are several things I do for personal growth, what's the most effective? I would say to you immediately, without question. The most important thing I do to personally grow is I continually have mentors in my life. I have men and women who help me grow. They teach me. I sit at their feet. I learn from them. They coach me. And so in our coaching company, I said what I need to do is to make sure that we have what I call a mentoring environment. An environment for men and women that they can have access to people that are successful so that they can get their questions answered quickly. Because what mentoring does for you and me is it allows us to grow faster than we would without mentoring, and it allows us to go further. Mentoring allows you to go faster and further in your growth. You go further Because you have people that are ahead of you and have already gone further than you, and you go faster because you can live off of their experience and off of their training and off of their knowledge. And so I said, okay, part of the power of five, part of the thing that will help us with our coaching company is I'm going to provide an environment for people in which they can grow. In my 20s, I heard Earl Nightingale say one time that you'd spend 1 hour a day, every day, on the same subject for 5 years. 1 hour a day, every day, on the same subject for 5 years. That after 5 years, you could become an expert on that subject. And because I was passionate in my 20s about leadership, I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend an hour a day talking about leadership, reading about leadership, practicing leadership, asking questions about leadership. I'm going to take him up on this. I'm going to spend 1 hour a day for 5 years on the subject of leadership because he said in 5 years I could become an expert. So when I started this personal growth program, I had a mentality of stay with the same subject an hour a day for 5 years, but in 5 years you'll be an expert. And so when I started growing, I started leadership, and every day, leadership, and I was kind of in a countdown mode. 5, 4, 3, because at 5 years I could become an expert. And it was, how long will it take? Well, how long will it take? Well, in 5 years. Well, how long will it take? Well, it's going to be now in 4 years. Well, how long will it take? How long will it take? Well, 3 years. Oh my, how long? And I was about halfway in my 5-year journey, asking how long will it take, till one day, I stopped asking that question. In fact, I've never asked that question since that day I stopped asking it. For over 50 years, I've never asked the question, how long will it take? And the reason I stopped asking that question is because I was learning, I was growing, I was becoming a better leader, people were following me, my organization began to become massive. In other words, I was having success. When you're having success, you stop asking, how long will it take? Because success is wonderful. Your team is growing, you're growing, your company's growing, it's getting good. When you become successful, you stop asking the question, how long will it take, and you start asking another question. No longer was I asking, how long will it take, how long will it take, how long will it take, how long will it take? Because I was learning, I was growing, I was improving, I was getting more successful, I was getting better, and I stopped asking, how long will it take? And I started asking, how far can I go? Oh yeah. How far can I go? And I'm still asking that question at 78 because I'm not arrived yet. And I never became a leadership expert after 5 years because after 5 years, I was a much better leader. But the more you know you don't know. And the more you know you don't know, the more you know you need to know more than you know. And so you know you never know enough because the more that you know, the more you want to know more than you don't know. How far can I go? I don't know. I'm 70. I don't know yet. I'm still climbing. I'm not arrived. I'm still climbing. And see, that's for you. That's for you. How far can you go? I don't know. But here's what I know. You can go farther than you've gone. You can climb higher than you've ever climbed. You can see more than you've ever seen before. You can do more than you've ever done before. Here's what I know. In Indonesia, there are men and women who have unlimited potential, and all we want to do is come alongside of you and be your friend and teach you and mentor you and say, come on, we can keep going. Hey, we can go further. So growth happens. So I said, in the coaching company, we have to have this incredible environment of growth. And then secondly, I said to myself, not only does growth matter, connecting matters. You see, a lot of your success is going to be determined on your relationships and the people that you know. One of the great networking questions in life is, who do you know that I should know? I've asked that question dozens of times, and it's led me to amazing people. So I said, okay, I've got to develop a coaching company. I've got to develop a coaching company that allows people to meet people that they really need to know. Let me just say it this way, okay? Some of you are just one person away from great success. Just one person. Just one person. Jim Collins calls this who luck. Who do you know? He said, of all the luck you need in life, the most important luck is who luck. Who do you know that I should know? And I'm here to tell you that you're just, many of you, one person away. And what I love about the coaching company is when they come together, they become family, they become community. And what's really beautiful is what you have in your heart, the things that you love, the things that you believe for in your life. The best thing that can happen for you is to meet other people like-minded, that have your values, that have your dreams. Because there's something beautiful about being around people that have the same goals that you have, and the same passion that you have, and the same interest that you have. And this becomes absolutely life-changing for you. So I said, all right, what we'll do is we'll create an environment, we'll create a company, an organization. We'll bring coaches together. We'll bring coaches together at certain places at certain times. We'll bring coaches together in going through programs at the same time. Because here's what I know. Well, here's what I know. If I could sit down with you, just any one of you today, if we could just sit around the table, you and I, do you know what I know about you? Every one of you have something to teach me.
Yes.
Every one of you could make me a better person. Every one of you have something that would help improve my life. I know that. So what is important for leaders to do is to bring people together that can add value to one another, that can lift one another, encourage one another, teach one another, add value to one another, walk with one another, improve one another. So I said, what I want to do is I want to develop a coaching organization that the people are like-minded, and when we come together, wow, it begins to be life-changing. I want to bring people together that connect. And here's why I want to do that. Because the third part of the Power of Five is mindset. Mindset matters. Now, I talked to you earlier today about thinking, perspective. The greatest gap between successful and unsuccessful people is how they think. If I can provide a growth environment for you to allow you to connect with others of like-mindedness, it's going to be, I promise you, life-changing. Now, I know that for a fact. I don't know that from theory. I know that from a fact. We have 60,000 coaches. We have 60,000 men and women around the world who look at us and say, when I got into this community, I started to grow. I got connected with people that I learned from. But I also got into a community that had the same perspective, that had the same type of thinking, the same kind of mindset. And one of the things I know about mindset, in fact, it was interesting when Jonathan introduced me today, he showed a book, and the book was The Difference Maker. And basically the thesis of that book is attitude isn't everything, but it's the main thing that separates you from other people. It's the difference maker. You see, attitude is a choice. And once we begin to learn and have an abundance attitude, and once we begin to embrace a positive attitude, it begins to change the way we see things. And when we see that the things that we see things begin to change, then we begin to do things that are also incredibly different. So mindset really matters. So I said, okay, I'm going to develop a group of people that have this amazing mindset. And here's why I want you to know this. This is huge. There are people that have low personal belief. In other words, they don't really believe a lot in themselves. And there are people that have what I call low purpose belief. They not only don't believe in themselves, but they don't have a reason or a cause or a purpose that would allow them to have high belief. So listen very carefully. I just wrote this down for you. Just listen carefully. It'll take me 60 seconds. One, two, three, four, five. Thank you. I think we need to give these gentlemen a wonderful hand. They've done a good job all that. Okay. Here's what I want you to understand about belief. Belief in yourself, belief in your purpose. All this mindset, it goes together to really give and provide for you success. So in our coaching organization, I said, we've got to have an organization that helps you with belief. Because here's what I wrote down. I'm going to read that to you now. When you have low personal belief and you have low purpose belief, you'll never get started. I watch people who never get started doing anything, and I look at them and I can promise you, they have low personal belief, they have low purpose belief. But then, if you have high personal belief, you really believe in yourself really well, but you have low purpose belief, you won't continue. You'll get started, but because you lack purpose, you'll stop. Or, let me flip it, if you have low personal belief, but high purpose belief, you won't realize your dream. But the moment that you have high personal belief and high purpose belief, then you will realize and reach the dream you have. And so I said to myself, we're going to teach our people to have a mindset. Our coaches are going to be uniquely set aside from them. They're going to think differently than other people think. And because they think differently than other people think, and because they believe differently than other people believe, they're going to exceed and succeed much more than what other people do. And that's exactly what we do. And we do it really well. We work with it. We work with the mindset. It goes something like this. Everything worthwhile is uphill.